Here are 20 monologues for female actors who are in the 16 to 25 age range. The themes and issues feel more mature than teenage characters, and these pieces will engage young actors imaginatively, physically, and emotionally. Right, let's go. Steph from Dill by Mark Weinman. Start on page 97 at "Do you understand why I'm here now?" and end on page 99 at "I'm going home." Steph is visiting James, who is the father of their daughter, Dill. Steph is responding to James's apology for leaving. This is an emotional speech with lots at stake. Cut out James's interjections to make it work. Unnamed from Ross and Rachel by James Fritz. Start on page 21 at "I have a picture of my life after he's gone" and end on page 22 at "I've always dreamed of working." This is a play with two voices for one performer. Here, the speaker is talking about her dying partner, what her future holds, and the complexities of her mixed emotions. Marnie from In Doggerland by Tom Morton Smith. Start on page 52 at "When they took my heart" and end on page 53 at "Making the heart not a stranger." Marnie is a young woman who's had a heart transplant. Here she's speaking to the father of the girl whose heart was donated. It's a gentle and beautiful speech. She from Poison by Lot Wekemans, translated by Rena Vagano. Start on page 61 at "I remember the soft click of the door closing" and end on page 64 at "In the end, it turned out to be 9 minutes." This is an incredibly emotional speech about the death of a child and a partner's decision to leave. It's a simple and really effective exploration of grief, pain, and regret. Cut out the one line from he in the middle of this section. Alice from Rotterdam by John Britton. Start on page 81 at "I was 9 years old" and end on page 82 at "But I like girls." Alice is speaking to her partner about discovering her sexuality for the first time. Her partner, Adrian, is transgender, and Alice is torn about what this means for their relationship. Laura from Beginning by David Eldridge. Start on page 73 at "You know what I want" and end on page 76 at "Holding hands and never letting go." This is a delicate and beautiful confession of love and desire for Danny. Cut out Danny's few interjections, and you may want to trim this speech as it's quite long. The imagery and detail is really special. Sally from The Welkin by Lucy Kirkwood. Start on page 94 at "I loved him and so I was powerful", end at the bottom of page 96 at "Do whatever he asked of me". This is an exceptional new play from Lucy Kirkwood, and in this speech, Sally is addressing a jury of women defending herself from execution. She speaks of her dream of escaping her abusive husband who she's killed. There's quite a few interjections from the ensemble in this speech, so cut those out to make this a striking monologue. Maya from Snowflake by Mike Bartlett. Start on page 60 at "One day we heard the Prime Minister was visiting the university" and end on page 63 at "Whether you'll hear them or not". Maya is speaking to her estranged father, Andy, about an incident with the Prime Minister at her university and a failed act of protest. There are two published versions of this play, one referencing Theresa May, published in 2018, and one referencing Boris Johnson, published in 2019. The earlier publication, the Theresa May version, has a much better, substantial speech for Maya. Alana from Skinner Cat by Isley Lynn. Start on page 74 at "Everything has changed" and end on page 76 at "Effing brilliant". Alana suffers from a rare condition which means she can't have sex, and in this final speech of the play she speaks about her gradual acceptance and liberation from it. Jerry, her partner, has 4 tiny interjections which you can cut. Nina from Dry Ice by Sabrina Mahfouz. In the clean collection, start on page 26 at the bottom, I do my finishing touches, and end at the end of the play on page 29 at I'll see you around. Nina works as a stripper, and in this final speech of the play she's offering advice to a newbie. It's full of wisdom and strength and has a lovely arc to play. EJ, from I Will Still Be Whole When You Rip Me in Half by Ava Wong Davies. Start at She Kisses Like a Cannibal on page 4 and end at I Run on page 10. This is the opening section of the play. EJ is in her 20s and is having a vivid and intimate encounter at a club. It's poetical and passionate. Joy has a section of text in the middle of this speech which you can easily cut. Daughter, from Arctic Oil by Claire Duffy. Start on page 25 at I'm bored, I'm so bored here, and end on page 27 at But then I think F that. Ella, aka Daughter, is a young activist, and she's being kept on a remote Scottish island by her mother. Here she's attacking her mum on why she wants to leave and why her activism means everything to her. Unnamed, from Revolt, She Said, Revolt Again by Alice Birch. In Midsummer Mischief, start on page 56 at I don't understand why you're so, and end on page 58 at Imagine Your Surprise. This is a breathtakingly powerful and provocative play. This section sees an unnamed female character responding to a proposal with a methodical, well thought out analysis and rejection. Alice, from Dust by Millie Thomas. Start on page 37 at Tonight, It's Tonight, and end at the end of the play at I think this is the end. Dust is a play about Alice who has killed herself and is in purgatory. This is at the end of the play when she relives her moment of decision the night she died. Hebe, from A First World Problem by Millie Thomas. This speech is in scene 9. Start on page 25 at Oh yeah, I have a boyfriend, and end on page 26 at That's what I like about him though. Hebe is 18 and a student at an elite all-girls school. Here she speaks about her unsatisfying sex life with her boyfriend and her clever ways round his unfulfilling actions. Louise, from Martha, Josie and the Chinese Elvis by Charlotte Jones. In Charlotte Jones Plays 1, start on page 250 at Do You Want to Know Why, Mother? And end on page 252 at I Got a B in French. Louise has returned home to confront her estranged mother. She has a shocking story from her past when she was studying for her A-levels. Cut out the 5 small interjections in this speech. Loops, from Mayfly by Joe White. This is scene 4. Start on page 28 at You Don't Remember Me and end on page 29 at It's reduced but it's fine. Loops is 25 and making a nervous reintroduction to Harry, someone who she thinks she met 10 years ago, except she didn't. It's a wonderfully awkward and comedic speech. Writer, from The Writer by Ella Hickson. Start on page 51 at The Thing Is, I Really Do Love You, and end on page 52 at Over Those Snacking Nuts. Writer is in a troubled relationship with her boyfriend. In this short speech, she summons the huge amount of courage required to finally confront him on what she's not happy about. Mel, from So Many Reasons by Rachel Afori. This scene is called The Brazilian. Start on page 34 at So the Next Day I'm on the Phone to Jennifer, and end on page 37 at But I think I'll just leave the rest. The scene title captures what this speech is about, but to clarify, it's about a Brazilian wax and it does not go according to plan. A hilariously honest and cringy speech. Suzie, from No One Will Tell Me How to Start a Revolution by Luke Barnes. Start on page 48 at After Training I'm Sitting in the Front Room, and end on page 49 at Voicemail F. Suzie is the oldest of 3 sisters and is a competitive swimmer. This is a tender and emotional speech about her holding her mum's hand as she peacefully passes away. And there we go, 20 monologues for young female adults. These plays are available on Drama Online, and you can order the plays from the publishers: Bloomsbury, which now incorporates Methuen in Drama and Oberon Books, Faber and Faber, and Nick Hearn Books. Or order them from Amazon. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please give it a like. Do check out these other videos and subscribe. And if you want to support what I do and the channel, you can click on the link in the video description. All the best.